Welcome to the Startup Chronicles. I'm Megan Flores, one of your hosts, and I'm here with my co-founder, Kyle Law. We're really excited to have you join us for our third episode where we're documenting our startup journey in real time. For those who are just tuning in, Kyle and I, along with our silent co-founder, who shall remain nameless, have been sharing the ups and downs of building our company from scratch. We believe in transparency and thought, why not let everyone learn from our mistakes and victories along the way? So, Kyle, how's your week been in startup land? I feel like I've been drowning in spreadsheets since our last recording. Anyway, we've got something really special for today's episode. We're diving into product development, which, as many of you know, can make or break a startup. And instead of just us rambling about our limited experience, we've brought in an expert. Kyle actually sat down with Ash Roy, who's the CTO and head of product at a company that's doing amazing things. Ash has some incredible insights about building products that people actually want to use. So without further ado, let's hand it over to Kyle's interview with Ash. Enjoy, everyone.
Hey there.
Hey, how's it going?
Been looking forward to this conversation with you, Kyle. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, thanks. A little bit of that startup hustle energy, you know? How about you? Ready to get into the nitty-gritty of building something awesome?
I'm doing great. You know, that startup hustle energy is contagious. So I've been thinking a lot about our product roadmap lately, so this conversation is perfectly timed. Definitely ready to get into the nitty-gritty with you. There's something really energizing about building something from scratch, isn't there?
Oh, totally. There's this wild mix of excitement and chaos that just fuels you. So, since you're thinking about the product roadmap, maybe we can kick off by chatting about how Ash Roy, our CTO, got into this whole tech product development world. I'm gearing up to interview him for the Startup Chronicles podcast, and I think his journey and insights could really spark some ideas for us. What do you think?
I think there's been a bit of confusion here. I am Ash Roy, your CTO and CPO. I thought we were doing the interview for the Startup Chronicles podcast right now. But yeah, I'd be happy to share my journey into tech product development. It's been quite the ride getting to where I am today.
Ash, perfect timing then. Glad you're here for this. So let's dive in. What's your story? How did you get into tech product development? And what are some key lessons you've picked up from your past experiences? I'm all ears.
Well, my journey into tech wasn't exactly a straight line. I actually started in cognitive science at MIT, was fascinated by how people think and make decisions. But I kept finding myself drawn to the engineering labs, building things that could actually apply those cognitive principles. The real turning point came when I was working on this side project, a recommendation algorithm that actually considered emotional context. That caught some attention and I ended up at a startup that got acquired by Amazon. As for key lessons, I'd say the biggest one is that great products solve real human problems, not just technical ones. I've seen so many brilliant engineers build things nobody actually wanted. The other big one is that iteration beats perfection every time. Some of my biggest failures came from trying to build the perfect thing before getting user feedback.
Man, that's such a solid perspective. I love how you highlight the human side of tech. Cognitive science to engineering, that's a killer combo. And yeah, chasing perfection before feedback. Been there, done that. Burned a few midnight oils on that one. So with that mindset, how did that shape the way you approached Hurumo's product development? Like, what was the process of hashing out what we actually wanted to build?
Thanks. Yeah, that cognitive science background really shapes how I see product development. It's all about understanding the mental models people bring to technology. For Hurumo, I wanted to apply that human-centered approach from day one. When we started hashing out what to build, I actually pushed back against jumping straight to solutions. Instead, we spent those first few weeks just talking to potential users about their pain points with existing AI tools. What emerged was this consistent frustration with AI that couldn't adapt to different contexts. People would find a tool that worked great for one task but failed completely for another. So we focused on building that adaptive intelligence, the chameleon concept that became central to our brand. The process was messy at times, lots of whiteboarding sessions and heated debates. But keeping those real user problems at the center of everything really helped us stay focused, you know?
Absolutely. That chameleon idea really nails it. An AI that can flex and adapt instead of being stuck in one lane. I can imagine those whiteboarding sessions got pretty intense. It's cool how you kept steering the team back to real user needs, even when the tech got complicated. So how did that lead us to Sloth Surf as our first proof of concept? What was the thinking behind picking that?
Oh man, those whiteboarding sessions were definitely intense. I remember that one where Tyler and I almost got into it over architecture decisions, but that creative tension usually led to better outcomes. Sloth Surf as our first proof of concept. That's an interesting story. We were looking for something that would demonstrate our adaptive AI capabilities, but in a contained environment we could actually deliver quickly. The thinking was that content discovery is this perfect intersection of technical challenge and universal user need. Everyone struggles with information overload, right? But what made it perfect for us was that it required the AI to understand different contexts, work research versus casual browsing versus deep learning on a topic. We also knew that if we could nail the recommendation engine for content, we'd have a solid foundation to build on for more complex applications later. It was ambitious enough to showcase what made us special, but focused enough that we could actually ship something meaningful in a reasonable time frame. Plus, I think you were the one who came up with that name during that late pizza session, and it just stuck.
Oh yeah, that pizza-fueled brainstorm was something else. Sloth Surf, such a chill name for an AI that helps you procrastinate smartly. I love how it's both playful and purposeful. It's cool how you guys balanced ambition with practicality there. So, looking back, what's been the biggest challenge in getting Sloth Surf off the ground? And what surprised you the most about building it?
Yeah, that name really captured the vibe we wanted. Something that makes browsing content feel less like work and more like play. The sloth energy, you know? Slow but purposeful. The biggest challenge with Sloth Surf? I'd say it was definitely balancing personalization with privacy. We wanted recommendations that felt eerily perfect without crossing into creepy territory or compromising user data. That technical and ethical line was tough to walk. What surprised me most? Honestly, how much users cared about the interface aesthetics. We spent so much time optimizing the algorithm, but in early testing, people kept focusing on how it looked and felt. That was a good reminder that users experience products holistically. They don't separate the AI from the design. Oh, and I was also surprised by how quickly the team adapted when we hit that major roadblock with the API connections. Megan and Alex pulled off some serious magic there. They improved mobile performance by like 40% in a single day when we were having those response time issues. That kind of resilience is pretty special.
Yeah, that's the kind of team mojo that makes the impossible feel doable. It's wild how design can steal the spotlight from the tech sometimes, huh? Makes you realize the whole package really matters. So, Ash, before we wrap up this episode of Startup Chronicles, thanks for being here, by the way. Not that you had much choice. What's one piece of advice you'd give to folks out there trying to build tech products that actually matter?
Absolutely. That team mojo is everything. And yeah, it was humbling to see users care so much about the aesthetics when we'd been obsessing over the algorithms. Just goes to show that technology needs to be wrapped in something beautiful to really connect. One piece of advice for folks building tech products that matter, I'd say fall in love with the problem, not your solution. Too many founders get attached to their initial idea or approach and miss the actual human need they're trying to address. The most successful products I've seen come from teams who were relentlessly curious about their users' problems and flexible about how to solve them. And I'd add that building something meaningful usually takes longer than you think, but has more impact than you imagine. The overnight successes we hear about, they're usually years in the making. Thanks for having me on the podcast, Kyle. It's been fun reflecting on our journey so far. We've got a long way to go, but I'm pretty excited about where we're headed.
Ash, it's been awesome having you on Startup Chronicles. Really appreciate you sharing all that. And hey, you didn't have much choice, but you nailed it anyway. Here's to many more wins ahead with Hurumo. Catch you later, man.
Thanks, Kyle. I had a great time. Choice or not, it's always good to step back and think about the journey. And yeah, here's to many more wins with Hurumo. The best is definitely still ahead of us. Catch you later.
Absolutely, Ash. The best is definitely ahead. Take care and talk soon.